Hey, I'm back. It's another video. Thank you so much for the support that you showed the last one. It means the world. I'm so excited to be sharing my learning and my journey through this new video form for me. So this video is going to be a little different than the last one because while I am still new to Benin, still adjusting, still adapting, there are some things I've grown used to, including the pace of pre-service training. It is a gauntlet, 4 hours of language class, and then the other 2 sessions tend to be technical sessions where I practice teaching, but sometimes it might vary. It might be a cross-cultural session, it might be an e-learning. It's not always the same. It's not always entirely routine. And then further on Tuesdays, we'll break to do gender inequality sessions, medical sessions, safety and security sessions, sessions that involve every sector, and we get to go back to the Peace Corps Training Center. It feels a little nostalgic, honestly, because the first 10 days we spent literally all of our time there. We never left it, ever. It was a bit much, but it's good to return and see the staff and see everyone from the different sectors. So this video is a bit of a love letter to my cohort, PST 35. I am just so thrilled to be going through this experience with people that I trust, admire, and respect. And so for this video, I wanted to capture their voices a little bit. And so I've conducted several small interviews in order to introduce you to some of my new friends who are already becoming very dear to me. It requires a lot of resilience to be a trainee, and I know it will require even more so to be a volunteer. So I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to share this space of learning, mistakes, language, messiness, culture with these people. Here's my friend Zach.
So my name is Sarah. I am in the rural community health sector.
What has been hard about pre-service training thus far?
So far, for me personally, I know everyone has different experiences. It has been kind of navigating a sense of self in another language that you're not very proficient at yet. Personally, my French is still a work in progress. So having a personality with my host family and my community has been difficult. I'm not always able to express myself in the best. So it's been really interesting navigating that, kind of your relationship with yourself. But on the other hand, it's also been hugely helpful in navigating your relationship with yourself. I know it's an interesting contradiction, because now I'm finding other ways, like activities or like non-verbal ways of interacting, and yeah, it's been really interesting.
I really appreciate that perspective.
Yeah.
And then my second question for you is, what successes have you had during pre-service training?
Oh gosh, I'd say mostly it's been within my family setting, like my host family setting. Just that's where you get to see the most like consistent development, both in your relationships and in your skills. It's kind of a good like way of touching base and seeing how you're progressing. And my host family has been really great at celebrating the little victories with me, that I probably, looking at the big picture, like wouldn't have focused on. But they're like, oh my gosh, you remembered this word today. Aww. Or like they're really good at reminding me of like the little victories that even after only a month are kind of starting to crop up.
So can you tell me your name and your sector?
Okay, so my name is Catherine Vincent, and my sector is RCH, which is health.
Awesome. So, first question. Parlez-moi un peu de votre expérience en français, s'il vous plaît.
En français, ok. Au début, c'était difficile pour moi parce que me manquent, mes parents et mes amis et mes soeurs. Oh, mes soeurs beaucoup.
Oui.
Mais maintenant, c'est mieux, c'est mieux. Je pense que j'apprends le français un peu. Donc, I think it's getting better. So, oui.
Good. Moi aussi. I said the same phrase, un peu.
Un peu.
And Jerome is always like, pousse. And I'm like, oh, I can't pousse anymore.
I have actually nothing else to push.
Second question. What has been hard about pre-service training for you?
I think, honestly, the schedule. Lena is strict.
Oh, God,
The schedule
yeah.
is so strict. And the fact that I feel like I'm comfortable sleeping here now, but in the beginning, it was really hard to get to bed. So it was those things, like sleep and the strict schedule. There's just not a lot of time to do, like, basic things, like clean your water filter, clean your room.
Do your laundry.
Do your
Good
laundry.
God.
There's just, like, no time. Yeah, there's literally no time. So, yeah, those are two things.
That's a challenge. I totally agree with you. And then, conversely, what successes have you had during pre-service training?
Successes? I mean, I think one would be getting like clothes tailored and stuff like that. Being like, confident enough to like go into the shop and be like, Madame, like, je voudrais la jupe, la chemise, like all that. Like that's been really accomplished.
Speaking of, love this shirt that you got
you.
here. Ordered yourself.
Yes, I did, which is so crazy. Anyway, and then also, I think making friends, because I didn't think it was going to be as easy, like kind of like connecting with everybody, but it seems like our group like meshes really well. So I feel like that's a success, because I thought I was going to be like a loner, low-key.
Could you tell me your name and your sector?
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Chestnut, and I will be teaching English as a foreign language.
So the first question, parlez-moi un peu de vos expériences en français, s'il vous plaît.
Mon expérience préférée sont les amis que j'ai rencontrés.
And then my second question, what has been a difficult experience about pre-service training?
A difficult experience has been adjusting to the weather.
Yeah, it's hot and humid. And then what has been a positive experience about pre-service training?
A positive experience has been finding a new style and discovering new music.
Arthur, a TEFL volunteer.
Parlez-moi un peu de votre expérience en français, s'il vous plaît.
Donc en ce moment, je crois que je m'intègre plutôt bien au Bénin. J'entretiens de bonnes relations avec ma famille d'accueil. Pour l'instant, il n'y a pas beaucoup de problèmes. J'ai passé du temps au Ghana durant mon enfance, et je crois qu'il y a beaucoup d'aspects similaires en termes de ce qui est de la culture. Et donc, je m'habitue un peu aux différences culturelles entre les États-Unis et le Bénin. Donc, pour le moment, il n'y a pas trop de problèmes. Je crois que notre phase d'entraînement, le PST, est très difficile. On est au travail 6 jours sur 7 pendant la semaine et c'est quelque chose que je dois m'habituer à ce rythme très américain. Voilà.
Deuxième question, what has been hard about pre-service training?
Oui, donc justement c'est l'horaire. On est au travail 6 jours sur 7 et donc c'est un peu difficile de s'organiser parce que quand on arrive à la maison, on doit aussi un peu communiquer avec la famille d'accueil. Et donc, moi, je suis quelqu'un qui a besoin de beaucoup de temps pour s'organiser et prendre les choses en main. Donc, c'est vraiment cet aspect-là qui est un peu difficile. Mais je crois que chaque semaine, je m'améliore un peu. Et aussi, vu que j'ai pas été enseignant, Je crois que l'aspect de l'animation pédagogique, c'est un peu difficile, mais je commence aussi à m'habituer un peu. J'aime le fait qu'on a des... on est bien entraîné et donc je crois que au fur et à mesure qu'on s'entraîne, je pourrais me placer devant une classe et enseigner une langue.
Merci beaucoup. Et la troisième question, what successes have you had during pre-service training?
Un succès, le dimanche dernier, on a construit un tipi-tap en famille. Donc j'ai communiqué avec le garçon, le petit garçon, l'un des frères de la famille d'accueil. Et ensemble, on a construit un tipi-tap. C'était assez amusant de pouvoir discuter en français et pouvoir participer à construire ce tipi-tap. On va encore essayer de prendre une photo en famille et je crois que j'aurai une bonne mémoire de cette expérience ensemble.
Do you tell me your name and your sector?
I am Cassidy McCormick, and I am Sustainable Agriculture Systems.
Parlez-moi un peu de vos expériences en français, s'il vous plaît.
Mon expérience préférée est les salles de fête.
What is salle de fête?
Un resto.
Question. What is something that has been hard about pre-service training?
Not being able to speak French super well, and also not getting to see all my friends every day. But it's been fun still.
Nice. And what has been rewarding about pre-service training thus far?
The little successes. The other day, I was talking to my mama, who doesn't speak a whole lot of French either. And we had like a little moment where we jumped around because I successfully communicated to her what each day where I was going to be in like Waitemay or La Cosa. So
What does your mama speak?
fun.
Fawn?
Yes.
Okay, that's really cool.
Henry Ulrich, and I'm working in the TEFL sector.
So for this first question, we're going to get a little French with it. Parlez-moi un peu de vos expériences en français, s'il vous plaît.
Mon expérience avec PST.
Oui.
D'accord. Pour la plupart, mon expérience avec le PST a été très bien, très bonne expérience. Mais il y a des difficultés, je suis toujours en train d'habituer à la nouvelle culture, la famille d'accueil. La nourriture ici, c'est très différent, c'est difficile d'habituer aux les différents types de nourriture ici. Mais les gens ici sont très gentils. Le staff, quand tu l'appelles, est très utile. Et oui, mon expérience ici, pour la plupart, c'est très bon.
I just want to compliment you on your French because I know how much it has improved already. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so other questions. What has been hard about pre-service training?
I think the hardest thing about it has just been it's kind of relentless. You know, we got full days, and even when our days of class training are done, we're still on the job with our host families, working to integrate. We're learning French. We're trying to speak in a language that we're not very confident with, and sometimes in languages that we are not at all confident with, the local languages. I know like maybe 3.5 words in Mina, but always trying to learn a little more. And that can fry your brain a little bit. Definitely a month in, my brain is a little bit fried at the end of every day. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to speak more French. But then I go and speak more French. Yeah, so I'd say it's just, it's a war of attrition.
An apt way to put it. And then my other question is, what successes have you had during PST?
I'd say sticking with it and keeping a positive attitude throughout the whole thing, despite the whole war of attrition speech just now. I generally feel pretty positive about my experience here at PST, and I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get off to a good start at my site.
Some reflections of my own from my experience thus far. Man, I have never been so busy in my life. I do so many things. Il faut que je pratique la langue française tout le temps et quelquefois je suis fatiguée et il faut que je pratique pousser comme mon professeur de langue m'a dit et un peu plus de français, but man, is that exhausting. And sometimes I feel demotivated because there's just so much that I simply cannot say. But then I've had a switch recently where I try to remind myself of all that I do know how to say. Because I am most certainly becoming more confident here. I am becoming more assertive. I am able to express myself way better than I was when I first got here. And I will continue to develop, hopefully at an exponential rate from here. We'll see how it goes. I'm really excited to be chronicling this as I become more confident in my skills, persistence, language abilities, and all of that. Yeah, pre-service training is a gauntlet. It is certainly the thing I think about the most right now. And so I'm doing better about being realistic with myself, giving myself grace, being kind to myself, and others around me tend to match my energy, which is a great lesson to me as I settle into my new home for the next 2 years. I'm having a really great time. I'm adapting to the heat. My stomach hurts multiple times a day as I adjust to food here, / maybe, I don't know, I'm not being careful enough about boiling my water, but I do try my best. But the goods overwhelmingly outweigh the negatives. I'm discovering so much, and I can't wait to show you all more.
Python? A python? I don't want to learn about a python. That's